That often, but I find really useful to keep in my fire lighting kit. Now this is potassium permanganate. Bring this a bit closer for you. So I've got a little vial of potassium permanganate here, and another little vial of glycerin. Now you can pick this stuff up from a lot of different places. I tend to buy mine online, 99p in certain places, and then you can basically buy a bottle of glycerin and a jar of potassium permanganate separately for a much lower price, and you just basically refill these each time you need to. Now, before I give you a demonstration of how this works, just a quick word of warning. If you are carrying this stuff with you for use in fire lighting, and as you'll see in a minute, it's a very energetic, sort of violent reaction. And what you need to make sure you do is that these are kept either in separate parts of your pack, completely apart from each other, or full, just so you've got somewhere to pour the permanganate. Now, what you want to do, so you'll open this pot, and you'll just pour this out onto whatever it is you're using. So that's now covered, and what you can do, or what I like to do, is just make a little indentation into the bottom of that potassium permanganate. Hopefully you can see that on the camera there. Make a nice little indent, which is where you're going to pour your glycerin. Now, the one thing I will say with this is you need to keep, you need to get your fire prepared in advance with this. It's not like birch bark where you can get it lit and then you can start putting things around it. You need a good fire lay, plenty of small kindling on there. This goes underneath with the rest of your tinder, and as soon as it lights, it will then take everything else up as well. And you'll see that hopefully on here. So what you want to do, once you're ready, you just take your glycerin and you will pour it into the little indentation that you've made. You don't need to use all of it. I'm going to use probably about half of this, and this can take a little while. It can take up to sort of 30 seconds or so, so I'm going to sort of do this live, and while I'm waiting for that to go, I'm just going to get a few little bits of sort of tinder, some shavings here ready for when this lights, just so I can sort of hold this over and hopefully it'll take a flame. Now on the other picture there, hopefully you'll see it sort of start to bubble. And a lot of the time people will look at this and they'll think, oh, it's not working, oh, have I done something wrong? The short answer is no, you haven't, but you just have to give it enough time for the reaction to start. Now I can see it sort of bubbling a little bit there. I think it's probably going to take a little bit longer, so we'll just carry on. I wanted to do all of this live. I didn't want to have any cutscenes or anything like that, just so you can sort of see it in action. And in a minute, hopefully less than a minute, you will start to see this react, and you'll start to get flame. I'll just block that. Okay, so we're still waiting. As I say, depending on the grade of the potassium permanganate and the glycerin, can take a while. This has been sitting in my workshop overnight, so this is quite cold as well. I'm not sure whether temperature has any bearing on the reaction or not. I assume it may do. However, it looks like we should be getting the reaction starting. So as you can see, it starts off with quite a lot of smoke. Hopefully that's not obscuring the camera too much. And as I say, this is a very violent reaction, as you can see. And this is why it's always a very good idea to have your tinder and your kindling